You guys, one of the best, most basic, fundamental things that I want to encourage you to do, and I want you to ask yourself a question here real quick too, but one of the most basic things that I've ever done in my life is, and we all have the power to do this, is the fact that you simply have a beautiful tool right here with your mind. And by using your imagination, you can create the life that you want. Now, it might not be in the physical. You might not have it yet. But have you ever played the game with yourself or just role played with yourself the life that you want to live? Like, literally just imagine the body that you want to have, the lifestyle that you want to have, the vacations you want to take, the family you want to have. Even imagine your kids as they get older and you picking them up from school in the car you want to drive, and how their friends look at you because you're an influence and you're a role model to their friends and everything else. Like, do you ever actually sit there and make it a priority or just make it an activity that you do to use your imagination? And there's a reason why I'm asking this question, because literally when I reflect back on my life, like, just the fact that I'm sitting here in Florida talking to this camera in Florida, I remember was just a figment of my imagination. Literally just 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I was thinking about how I can't stand the cold. It's freezing cold. We're stuck inside. It's miserable. And I would see people on Facebook. I would meet people through real estate groups, just by providing value, talking about real estate stuff. And I'd see these guys in Florida showing properties. But at the same time, that same day or the weekend, they're at the beach. And it's January, February. Here I am in Pennsylvania. We're having snowstorms, ice storms, losing power. People are running to the grocery stores to get bread, milk, eggs, because we're going to get 4 inches of snow, whatever the case was. And I'm like, man, like, this is not the way I want to live life. Like, I don't want to be stuck inside. I want that lifestyle. And by the way, I'm not saying that's right or wrong, the lifestyle that I have, because you will have your own desired lifestyle. My desired lifestyle was when I saw these people living the way I want to live, enjoying life all year round, and looking forward to the fall and winter months because it actually isn't as hot anymore. When I saw that lifestyle, that's what I wanted. And so that feeling was so powerful within me that I would start imagining, what would my life look like if me and my family lived in Florida? If I was selling houses in Florida, I was making money in Florida, I was, we were outside eating dinner, eating lunch on a Tuesday or a Saturday or a Sunday in January, but we're eating outside at the water. Would my life be better? In my mind and in my imagination, yes, that's exactly what I wanted, and that's what I visualized, that's what I thought about. And so when we were having a winter storm in Pennsylvania, and it was nice, and I would see these guys posting on Facebook their winter months, enjoying time at the beach and dinners and things like that out in the water. I would simply take some time and I would prioritize it to make sure I had the time to use my imagination and visualize a life in Florida. I would visualize and I would feel my feet in the sand. And man, just to be here right now, I get goosebumps thinking about it. I remember when I started making money in real estate, visualizing what would it look like to have a $6,000 check, because I couldn't imagine it. I was making $900. The most money I made before I got into real estate was $1,800 a month. It was like $915 every 2 weeks. And so to double that, I remember the one time I was doubling that, I was making $3,600 in a month. That was life-changing to me. I would then take that and I would imagine, okay, if I can do this, could I make $6,000 in a month? And I would visualize all this stuff. And so when I tell you that this is the most basic thing, but such an important part, foundation to what you do in life, if you are not living the life that you want, have you ever just played the game with yourself and imagined life the way you want? Do you seek out people that have the life that you want and then live vicariously through them until you get to that point? Because that's what I did. I was living vicariously through everybody else who was living the lifestyle that I wanted to live in Florida. And I was doing the same thing in real estate. I remember the guys that was mentoring me, they were making 40 grand a month. And I would live vicariously through them, but also using my imagination. I'd be like, man, what would life be like to make 40 grand a month? Could I even imagine making that? Yeah, you can imagine whatever you want. I would imagine making 100 grand a month. So yes, you can imagine whatever you want, but do you consciously take the time to make that an activity that you do on a daily basis before you go to sleep, the first thing you do when you wake up? Or are you simply just living life passively? You wake up, get showered, go to work, come home, make dinner, go to sleep, do it all over again the next day? Or do you take time for yourself to actually use your imagination, to actually use your mind and think a little bit more for yourself? Just think. Imagine the life that you want. I know this sounds so basic, but like, this is the foundation. And when I reflect on my life again, man, I just keep going back to this whole using my imagination and the power of your mind, the power of writing things down, the confidence that it gives you. It doesn't have to be money. It doesn't have to be location of where you live. It could be simply the fact that maybe you have low self-confidence. Do you imagine yourself as a high confident person? Maybe the way you speak so low. Maybe you're timid. Do you imagine what life would be like if you had more courage, if you were stronger, if you spoke with more confidence and more authority? Money goes without saying. The lifestyle goes without saying. But even just the things that you know you're weak at within your life. Imagine if you were a better version. It all starts with that. Once you have the imagination going, the activities tend to follow. That's why they say your mindset is so important. If you grow up around 5 people who are all complaining about their electric bill, you will be the 6th person to complain about your electric bill. But if you have 5 people around you that are trying to build a YouTube channel or trying to learn how to speak better, learn how to communicate better, in a sales position, trying to make more sales, you will be that 6th person that tries to compete and get better yourself. So again, like, your surroundings are everything. But even then, if you want to be surrounded by better people, use your imagination. And as your imagination takes root and you take this form in your mind, you create these habits in your mind, the habitual thoughts, habitual activity of using the imagination, you'll be surprised at the activities that you start to take, because your subconscious mind does not know what's real and what's not real. It only knows what you put into it. So take the time to use your imagination to your benefit. Whatever problem you're having, take the time, take 5 minutes, set a timer on your phone, just take 5 minutes to imagine the better life, lifestyle, confidence, whatever it is that you need in your life. This is the most basic, foundational thing that you could do, and start doing it today. Love to help you guys out with this. If you guys have any problems or you guys want to know how I did it, I mean, I think, I write, and the activities take care of themselves. It's crazy how it works. It's crazy to even say I'm living here in Florida. Like, this is nuts to me. I'm used to it now because now I've got so familiar with it. And you will too. The more you do this stuff, the more you will become familiar with it, the better you get at it, the bigger you have to think, because now you start realizing that things that you once imagined become real. They become your reality. And that's when you can get 5 years down the road and make a video like this talking about how your imagination and your mind literally is the most important part to building yourself up to be a better individual, a better person, a better version of yourself, to the point where you become the best version of yourself. And even then, you want to get better and better. You have to start thinking bigger and bigger and using your imagination. This is a lifelong process, and it becomes very, very fun the more you get used to it. So, how to use your imagination? Change the way you do it today.